It's night number 17. Of 30 days of love songs. This is a challenge that I made for myself. To play 30 days of a different love song every night. Sometimes originals, sometimes from the American Songbook, sometimes, I don't know, cowboy songs. Whatever feels like a love song to me. This was one of the first love songs that I learned. There was a piece of music on our piano when I was a kid with this very strange looking guy. And this tune is called Nature Boy. I think this is the only song. I think this Eden Ahbez, I think he wrote maybe one other song. There was a boy, a very strange enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far over land and sea, a little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, a magic day, he passed my way, and while he spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. magic day he passed my way, and while we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return, and be loved in return. He said the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. I love that song. I've never played it kind of like that. Sort of, I always played it more like, there was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. But it just felt like it needed. And then one day, a magic day, he passed my way, and while we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. That's the reason I sing this song. I think about that line so often. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. The greatest So just imagine that I'm a little kid. I'm a teenager. I don't know when I first saw that show up. It was like it was always there on the piano. And then I opened it up and I learned how to play. And there was this song. You know, these words. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Like this, you know, like this magic. I mean, there's all this sheet music that it looks, you know, it's like Oklahoma and it's My Fair Lady, and then there's this bizarre guy who looks like, I mean, he's got this long beard and he looks like a crazy person. And you open it up and there's this simple song. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to return. So I spent a lot of time alone as a teenager, you know, 12, 13, 14, and then there's this one piece of sheet music. It's totally different than all the rest. The great you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Simple song in A minor, but it has some very strange things about it. A minor, B minor, 7 flat 5, E7. I don't know what that stuff is. A minor, 7 flat 5, some kind of E7, and then it goes A minor with a G sharp, G natural, F sharp, then it's an F chord, an A chord, A minor, and then E7 again, F major, E7, A minor, G sharp, G natural. But this is a really cool chord. I don't know what it is. I think it's an F7 with a B flat in the bass. Na-da, then back to that E7. So when I was trying to figure out how to play this today, that was the really hard one. Because the melody, you know, shifts around. This is la 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 la, pretty straight. La 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 la. Straightforward. La 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 la. You know, and I'm searching around the harp like, how do I find that? Where do I find that? Anyway, it's a really beautiful song. And I think of those lyrics so often. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. And that, I've been saving this song after a whole bunch of others, always, knowing that I wanted to get to this one. So, thank you. Hello, Linda. Yes, it does sound like gypsy tunes. Yes. And thank you, Martin. What was fun when I found this, right, so this is A minor, F, and E. And then I looped that. And it's really kind of like La Bamba in minor, in the sense. It is kind of gypsy. Bending up to get a sort of a vibrato. It does make the strings go out of tune. And you can't, and it's harder to do it. There's a lot of levers up on this tune, so it makes it harder to do it. But this is just such a fun rhythm. But I can't play, so it doesn't matter. And so I will say good night, Victoria, good night, Victoria, good night, Victoria, and good night to Linda. Good night to Martin Castillo. Good night, good night, good night. And then I have to roll up to see that Stacy is here. La 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 dee da dum. Hello, Glenn. It sounds like a little wild is the wind. I don't know that song. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Linda, 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 Linda. Oops, I almost brought someone on to the camera. Hello, Polly. Hello, Polly. It's hard to play and sing and scroll on this little thing, and so I'm gonna probably miss a few people. Hello, Danielle from Maniana's. And hello, Cheryl from Larks, Lakeport, California. And Danielle Kalish, thank you. La, 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 la. Good night, good night, good night, good night. If you put your name up on the screen, Yasmin is watching. I will sing your name because I love your names to sing. La 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 Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Aha, thanks, Glenn. Well, it has now the end of the night, and so I will sing you the lullaby that my mother used to sing to me so you can see her. And it goes like this. Good night, my love. Here comes the cat. Whoops, here comes the cat. Come on in. Well, if you want to come in, come on in. Come on. Here she comes. All right, here she comes. Oh, no. My God. Oh, no. Ouch. Okay. Well, there we go. And everything's on the floor now. But the cat will come and say hello. And now you know that there's a... Here we go. Here she is. Good night, my love. The tired old moon is descending. Good night, my love. My moment with you is now ending. So for the present, dear, we'll have to part. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my love. I love you. Pleasant dreams, sweetheart. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.